Welcome back. Annie's here too.
Hi.
So yeah, it's been a while since we have done this. I'm not facing you. I feel like I should face you. 1 second.
I'm not facing you either. Hold on.
It sounded like we were facing like away from each other. Like we have our backs together and we're just looking away. But no, we were both just facing forward, like at a wall. Anyway, it's been a while since we recorded. I think last time we recorded was before I went to Asia.
Yeah.
And I've been back from Asia for like a month. So
we're not too good at this.
No, we're very behind. We'll be better. We'll get more in the habit of it. But today we have a certain topic we want to talk about. But before that, I just wanted to tell you some stories that I had.
Let's hear it.
Well, okay, the first thing, I was going to tell you this earlier. I called you to tell you this because I had just learned it this morning and I was like, that's actually crazy. So I wanted to tell you. I was
screening her calls because I
thought
tired.
she was asleep, but she was just dodging me. She just didn't want to answer. Anyway, I was going to call you. Okay, the dumb thing is I actually learned this from listening to a different podcast, so I'm kind of stealing it. But I also just wanted to tell you.
Okay.
It's actually horrible. It's not like good news. It's like a really awful thing that I learned about Marilyn Monroe.
Oh, okay.
Nothing about like her as a person. She's great. As far as I know. I think people like her.
I think so.
She's not canceled or anything. She's dead, but she's like life canceled.
Okay.
So okay, when she died, and her body was taken to like the morgue, her body like mysteriously disappeared for like 6 hours, and there are accusations as to why.
Yes.
If you know,
I think I maybe have actually heard of that before.
But I didn't know that. And it's like, you know.
That's really disturbing.
Yeah, because people, I mean, she was super famous. She was like a sex symbol.
Yeah.
People, I guess, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what they did. Maybe they just wanted to look. I have no idea. But whatever it is, awful and evil. And I learned that. And I was like, oh my God, that poor woman.
Wonderful note to start the day on.
No, really bad. But also, there's another thing.
Okay.
I guess, I didn't look into this. I literally just heard it on a podcast. But I guess, like, the guy who, or, like, yeah, some guy who was, like, buried, like, above her. I guess they, like, stack bodies to save room, or whatever.
Okay.
The guy who was buried above her requested to be buried face down. So that he could be, like, on her.
That's gross.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. Sorry. It is a horrible thing to start.
I don't like this topic. Let's move on.
No, I don't either, but it was interesting to learn.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to tell you, because I was like, I wonder if Annie knows this, because this is like, oh, it is awful to think about. Like, if I was her family, and like, knowing that, I'd be like, just pissed. Anyway.
You just pissed?
I just pissed my pants. I was like, what about Marilyn Monroe? Marilyn Monroe. Anyway, how are you doing?
I'm great.
That looks like a lie. For all the audio listeners out there, Annie's face looks like she's lying.
She's right. I don't know.
Listeners, because we literally don't have a video, which is funny.
Which is good, because I look shit right now.
And I don't know when we're gonna, if we ever even do. I'll figure it out at some point, but it's gonna
I don't want to have to make myself look decent for these.
I want to record, like, a video, though, just to, like, I feel like having some clips and stuff would be useful. But at the same time, I kind of agree, like, I don't want to look presentable.
Yeah.
Which
look fine right now.
Might add some charm to it if we both look like trash the whole time and there's a dirty bedroom behind us.
Very dirty bedroom.
Very dirty bedroom.
Every single time I come in here, it's a mess. And then I come in here once and it's clean, and then the next day it's a mess again. Why is this room always so messy? You don't even live here.
That's why it's messy. It's because I don't use it. So I come in here, grab shit, throw shit around.
Trash it.
Yeah, because I don't care if it's a mess, because I don't stay here.
My goodness.
Anyway, we record these.
There's an empty bottle of orange juice on the floor.
That was Annie.
Anyways, no, I'm not doing that great.
Why?
I don't know. I just work too much and I'm tired and my ankle hurts.
Bruh, I'm gonna start working like 70 hours a week soon.
Kill yourself.
Okay, thanks. We're not even 5 minutes in and you tell me to kill myself.
Me personally, I'd rather kill myself, so... I'm just trying to help you get ahead of that.
No, I'm worried you're a little too loud. I keep worrying Annie's not loud enough because she always forgets to turn towards her mic, but she's being loud today.
Sorry.
I did have a couple other stories I wanted to tell you. One of them is just like a simple, stupid little anecdote, but then the second one is actually like disgusting and horrifying.
Oh my gosh.
I'm sorry.
Why are you trying to ruin my life?
It's not your life that's ruined, it's mine, and I'll tell you why.
Okay.
But the first one is, I was at work yesterday, no, this was 2 days ago, and I was talking about my boyfriend, and how we recently went to Korea and stuff. Like, I was just telling people, like, for those of you who don't know, I recently started a new job, so talking to my coworkers right now is kind of just like, it's a lot of small talk, sort of just like getting to know you stuff. So I'm telling them about my life, about my boyfriend, what I've been up to recently. Mm-hmm. And so I was telling them that I went to South Korea. And with that, I like mentioned, I was like, because like my boyfriend's Korean and I was visiting his family, you know. And when I said that my boyfriend's Korean, it usually doesn't get like that much of a response. They're like, oh, that's cool.
Who cares?
Yeah, it's like whatever.
Not a big deal.
But my coworker was like, no way, really? And I was like, yeah. And then she goes, Koreans are my favorite type of Asian.
Okay.
I was like, thank you? I didn't know how to respond. Thank you. I didn't know what to say, and I got so awkward that I didn't say thank you, but like, what I actually said was, I mean, I guess me too. Because I was like, shush, be quiet. Because I was like, I mean, my boyfriend would probably kill me if I said like otherwise, but like, I don't really have like I don't have a preference, and I don't like.
It's a weird thing to have.
I don't rank like races. I'm like, here's my favorite, here's my least favorite.
I do.
So I was like, I mean, I like my boyfriend, and like, he's very like pro-Korean, but like in a teasing way. Like, he'll just be like, Koreans are the best, you know. He's not like a nationalist.
Today he threatened to bomb our country.
Okay, that is out of context.
But Lauren threatened to bomb Korea first.
Oh, that's also out of context. He said that because he was joking about like the English language, because English language is nonsense.
It is
and
stupid,
it's frustrating.
and it's dumb. He's not
and
wrong.
I was like teaching him a certain like thing, and he was getting frustrated, and he was just like, "Oh my gosh, I'm gonna bomb this country." He would never actually do that. He is not a threat. He's
a very gentle person.
Gentle guy. We love him. Nathan's not gonna bomb anyone. Anyway, so for some reason I was like, I guess me too, because my boyfriend would probably be mad if I said anything otherwise. But I was like, why did I answer that way? That is so weird. I mean,
it's weird that she said that.
I know.
She put you in a weird spot.
She put me in a weird spot. Like, what was I supposed to say? Like, not me. Like,
no, I like Chinese people.
Nah, I
hate Koreans.
I hate Koreans, actually.
He's the only one I like.
He was the best I could get. Like, I wanted a Japanese person, but he was the only one available. Like, what am I supposed to say? So I was like, okay, I don't know. It was just, like, weird.
That's awful.
But she, like, clearly didn't think it was weird at all. She's just like, yeah, I love them. Like, I love their culture and stuff. And I was like,
their culture is beautiful.
Yeah, no, it is.
True.
Like, it's a beautiful country. When I went there, it was, like, super fun. Their food is super good. They have a lot of cool old, like, historical stuff that I loved. Like, it is, like, their culture is great. Mm-hmm. But to say
they have great food.
They have great food. But to say that Koreans are your favorite type of Asian is just that is so weird.
It's a weird sentence.
It's really weird. Oh, anyway.
All right,
so
what's the last thing that's upsetting and horrible?
Okay, I'll try to keep it quick because I feel like my stories have been taking too long. But
that's all right.
This happened today. So I dropped Nathan off at school this morning because right now we're sharing a car. Mm-hmm. And after I went home, well, first I went to get my license plate put back on my car because I didn't have a front license plate for a while. And so I went to the dealership, I got that put on, and then I went home, and I was, like, kind of hungry at that point because I hadn't eaten since I woke up. I didn't have, like, breakfast or anything. So I was like, oh, I'm going to cook myself some food. And I didn't really want to make anything crazy. Like, I wasn't in the mood to, like, cook a lot. I was going to just have, like, a bowl of cereal, but I wasn't really in the mood for sweet stuff. So I was like, okay, well, I'm making this way too long. No one cares what I was in the mood for. I was cooking rice anyway.
All right.
I was just gonna like make a bowl of rice and eat like some seaweed. Like that was literally what I was gonna have for breakfast.
Sounds great.
And so I was cooking the rice. It was done, and the edge of our rice cooker gets kind of hot. Okay. So I usually have to use like a hot pad thing. Like, what do you call that?
A hot pad?
Yeah, like an oven mitt, but one of just the flat square ones.
Okay, yeah.
Whatever you would call that. So I grabbed one of those to like hold the edge of it while I scooped out the rice because I didn't want to burn myself. And when so our little oven mitt thing is black.
Okay.
Keep that in mind. And our stovetop also black. And I put it on the edge, and when I grabbed it, a bunch of ants crawled into my rice.
Oh my gosh.
And I was like, ha! And then I realized there were ants all over the oven mitt thing. So I threw it down on the counter, and I was like, freaking out. I had grabbed it from the stovetop. It was laying on top of the stovetop. I look over at the stovetop, and it is covered in ants. The whole stovetop is covered in ants.
For our audio listeners, I am flabbergasted.
Andy's face does look quite flabbergasted, actually. Yeah. Oh, I'm starting to feel itchy thinking about it. Anyway, so it's covered in ants. And Nathan and his roommate are both, like, not home. And technically, it's not my place. I just stay with Nathan a lot. And so I use his kitchen and everything. But it's not my place. And so I'm like, I don't know what to do. I don't even, like, live here. And it's just, it's covered. I mean, like, you know, there's, like, some grease spots, some crumbs on the stove. But, like, usually I don't worry about that much. I don't think it's going to attract ants. But apparently
we do live in a basement.
Yeah,
so.
It is a basement, and Nathan's place apparently has attracted ants for a while. He told me, like, when he first moved in, but they got rid of them, because they were coming from, like, the outside, like, in the grass, and so they had some person come in and do something with the grass to, like, get rid of the ants so they wouldn't get in, but obviously that didn't work. So, anyway, all over the stovetop, and, like, I don't even know what to do. Like, I would usually, like, spray it with something. Like, my go-to thing when I see, like, a bug in the house, a lot of the time I'll try to, like, save it. Like, a lot of spiders I usually don't kill.
I'm
like,
a bug hater. I don't even care. I kill them.
There are some things I'll kill. Ants I'll kill. Like, I don't care about ants. But, and I don't know why I pick and choose. I don't know what the difference is in my head, but anyway, so usually, like, if I were to see ants, like, my go-to thing to kill them is, like, I'll just get some sort of cleaner that has, like, chemicals in it, and I'll just spray them. You know, spray with Windex. It works, right?
Makes sense.
But, of course, Nathan and his roommate, being two dudes in their 20s, own no cleaners, apparently.
Oh my gosh.
And I was, like, looking in all the cupboards trying to find some sort of cleaning spray. Like, I don't care what it is. Anything that has chemicals strong enough to kill it, right? Nothing. So I couldn't even spray it. And I was like, what am I supposed to do? Just, like, sweep them off? The stovetop? Like, and I was like, I don't want to take care of this. And so I was freaking out. And then Nathan called me because I had sent him a video of all the ants crawling around. And I was like, you have to see this. And he was like, what's going on? And I was like, there's ants everywhere. I don't know. Like, there's just ants everywhere. So what I ended up doing is, like, I filled a bottle with, like, half dish soap and half water, and I just squirted the whole counter. So the whole counter and stovetop is just soapy and wet. Like, I didn't clean it off or anything. I just waited for them to, like, drown or die or whatever. And I just left. I was like, I'm not eating anything in this kitchen. Like, we're gonna have to go through the cupboards and get rid of any open packages of food. Like, yeah, and I was feeling so icky. I literally was crying on the phone talking to Nathan because it was just, like, making my...
I don't blame you.
Like, it was, like, making
That's
my
so
skin
gross.
crawl, you know? I feel like maybe I should have put a trigger warning before this because it is kind of icky and... But, yeah, so I left and I just went to get McDonald's and have not been back since then.
That was this morning?
Yes!
Oh, gosh.
Like, right
so
now...
you still have to deal with it?
Yeah, right now as we speak, there's just soapy water all over the stovetop and a bunch of drowned ants. Do you want to see the video?
Sure.
Okay. Yeah, it was, like, disgusting. I was like, oh my god. And the fact that I grabbed the hot pad and it was covered in ants.
I'm so sorry.
I threw the hot pad in the trash. I was like, I'm not even gonna try to fix this. Like, I just threw it away. They're just crawling everywhere.
Gross.
Yeah.
Ew.
Yeah. And, like, when I noticed them in my rice, I was like, what's going on? And then I was like, ha, ha, ha!
So I'm assuming you didn't eat that rice.
No, of course I didn't eat that rice. I didn't eat anything. Actually, I had already opened a package of seaweed, and I did eat that. But it was, like, it was closed. It was away from the ants. So I knew that, like, that stuff was safe, so it's fine. But, yeah, so that was traumatizing.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I'm ever going to eat anything out of that kitchen ever again.
That's fair. Just move here.
Yeah, I'll just... Anyway, so those are the stories I wanted to tell you. Do you have any stories from this week? Anything interesting? Oh,
Annie's
Annie's birthday happened since last time we spoke.
I turned 20.
I'm so sorry. I forgot we were like recording. I just burped straight into the microphone. Anyway, what were you about to say?
Yeah, I turned 20. We did a lot of fun stuff for my birthday. We got facials.
Yeah.
And we went to the Old Spaghetti Factory, which is one of my favorite
Bro,
restaurants.
I love the Old Spaghetti Factory.
So good. I always get the manager's favorite with brown butter and mazithar cheese and white clam sauce on angel hair. And then I got tiramisu for dessert. And
their tiramisu is so good.
So good.
Also, their salad is bomb. I don't even care.
It's literally just like bagged salad.
It's a bag of iceberg with like shredded cabbage.
Chilled. They like chill the bowl that they serve it in. Yeah. And then their dressing is so good. I don't know why their salads are so fantastic. But I love them so much.
Dressing it's like a creamy kind of like pesto ranch thing.
Yeah, it's really good.
Like I don't know how to describe it, but it is so good.
Very
like
good.
Their salads are ice cold. Mm-hmm. And the dressing is ice cold, and it is like,
oh, I want one now.
Me too.
Yeah, and then I had a bunch of my friends over, because I actually have a group of friends now. That's kind of crazy. That sounds so sad.
They have friends.
In the past, I just never have had like big groups of friends, but now that I have a like job and coworkers, I'm just friends with all my coworkers. So they didn't come over until like 11 o'clock at night after they had all gotten off work, but it was still very, very, very fun.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry, we had to pause for a minute because Lauren had to pee. And then
I told her that she had just said, So I was like, don't pick it up again by saying, and then she did, so.
Anyways, I can't stop saying,
You were going to talk about your friends.
Yeah, well, I was going to tell a story about one of my coworkers because I thought this was really funny. So a few days ago, he accidentally shaved his head. Which sounds like, how the hell did you do that? But he always has his hair, like, buzzed, but just, like, probably, like, half an inch to an inch. Mm-hmm. And he was just, like, trimming it up the other day, and the, like, attachment on the razor had gotten, like, clogged up, so he, like, took it off to clean out the hair.
Yeah.
And then he forgot to put it back on, and he just starts in again and accidentally shaves a whole strip of his head, like, clean down to the skin.
Like Mr. Bald. Clean Bald.
Like, not Mr. Clean Bald.
Okay,
like,
fine.
It's whatever.
But it's bald anyway.
But, like, bald. So he comes into work the next day. No, the same day. It was the day of work, yeah. And he comes in, and he was so ashamed. He had to wear a different hat than he usually wears because his normal hat didn't fit his head anymore. Because his hair was gone.
That's actually really funny.
He was so embarrassed. It was really funny. But then he stuck his head in the oven.
What?
Because he thought it
Whoa. That sounds so depressing. Like, he was so upset about his hair and stuck his head in the oven.
No, so I work at a pizza place. So we have just, like, the open pizza oven,
like
right?
Like a brick oven kind of thing?
Yeah. And it wasn't all the way into the oven. He just, like, leaned his head towards the oven, leaned in a little bit, and he was like, whoa, that feels so cool.
That is so weird.
And he's going to California soon, and he was like, oh, I'm going to have to put sunscreen on my head.
Oh, yeah. Our dad has to do that.
Yeah.
Our dad is
He always has, like, weird, like, sunburn and tan lines on his head from, like, wearing a hat. Or wearing, like, a bike helmet. He gets, like, sunburns, like, where the holes in his bike helmet are.
That's funny. Anyway, so those are, I guess, our little stories and things that we've been up to. But today we wanted to talk about the concept of Kiki and Bouba, if you are familiar. Annie and I talk about this every once in a while. We'll, like, think
of... It's a great topic.
Yeah, well, it's fun to, like, compare... So, okay, if you, for people listening, if you guys don't know what Kiki and Bouba, is the Kiki and Bouba effect, it's basically I'll read this thing, hold on. I pulled up the definition, and then I Googled some other random thing, so I have to get back to it. Okay, hold on. Okay, so the Bouba and Kiki effect is a non-arbitrary mapping between speech sounds and the visual shape of objects. So basically, there was this test done. I think it came up, let's see, who was the first one to do it? Wolfgang Kohler in 1929.
Okay, cool.
So Kiki and Bouba are both two just like nonsense words, no meaning or anything. They just have sounds, right? The sound of Kiki, the sound of Bouba. And the test was basically done with a bunch of people. They show them these two images. One is of this sharp, spiky shape, and one is of this round, sort of globule shape.
Yeah, like a splat looking
like a
thing.
splat with like, and it's like rounded and like, you know, kind of like the Nickelodeon.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. Anyway, so you'd show people a picture of both of these objects, and he'd say, which one would you name Kiki and which one would you name Bouba? And overwhelmingly, I mean, like, I wouldn't say it was 100%, but a very, very large amount, almost everyone, would give Kiki, or give the name Kiki to the sharp, pointy one, and the name Bouba to the rounded, more, like, softer, blobby looking one.
Yes. Except for the people that were probably trying to be different and unique.
Yeah, so anyway, but this concept exists in a lot of other things where, like, the sound of a word, like, gives a certain visual idea, and so with the Kiki and Bouba effect, people will take certain things like, you know, cats and dogs. Which one's Kiki, which one's Bouba?
Cats are Kiki, dogs are Bouba.
Obviously, right? And there are a lot of those other things that people are, like, generally agreed on. So every once in a while, Annie and I will come up with, like, two things to compare. Oh, sorry, I just slapped my leg. Two things to compare, and we will discuss which one we think is Kiki and which one is Bouba. Usually we agree.
Yeah, most of the time.
But yeah, most of the time we agree. I think the interesting thing about the Kiki and Bouba effect is that it's something, like, most people agree on. Like, you give two things, most people are generally like, yeah, that one's Kiki, that one's Bouba.
It's not anything that's, like, objective truth, but it's just, like, everyone's like, yeah.
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 Yeah. And, like, there might be some people who disagree, but for the most part, with the people I've talked about with this, it's, like, a general consensus. So Annie and I each prepared a few different things to discuss without telling each other what we wrote down. Okay, Annie, what is the first one that you wrote down?
Okay, the first one that I wrote down is a debate that we've been having recently, actually. And it is orange juice and apple juice.
Oh, because I think orange juice is way better than apple juice.
And she's right, actually. This isn't a debate we're having with each other.
No, we
both
agree.
think orange juice is better.
Actually, if you think apple juice is better, unsubscribe. Never, ever listen to this podcast ever again.
Get out of here, please.
I'm literally not even kidding. I don't want you here.
For our audio listeners, she is so serious.
My stance is rigid.
It really is.
I can accept apple juice drinkers. I just hate you.
Anyways, this is not about that. This is about which one is Kiki and which one is Bouba.
But
I think it's interesting because the words themselves are both giving Bouba.
Yeah, but the taste, orange juice is Kiki.
Exactly.
The citrusy, more sour, like, tartness.
Okay, so we have the same thought on this.
Yeah.
Because, like, both of the words are Bouba, honestly, but orange juice itself as a thing is so Kiki.
I'm actually glad you said that because I have a theory that a lot of the time when people are comparing two things, they'll pay too much attention to the word itself.
And you have to pay more attention to
instead
what
of what it is. Annie and I were talking about earlier with chocolate and vanilla. It's like chocolate, the word with, like, the rounded letters and everything with the C gives kind of Bouba, and vanilla with the V, it's sharp, you know? Kind of gives Kiki. But if you're actually thinking about the actual thing, especially dark chocolate, I feel like it has that more...
Like, it's got a sharp and, like...
Something about it is more in your face. Yes!
Yes!
And vanilla is, like, smooth.
Yeah.
So it's hard, I think... But the whole concept of Kiki and Bouba is that these words can match the sounds. But I think chocolate and vanilla themselves, the words don't match what they are.
Exactly.
So that's why that's kind of a hard one to compare, is because... Are we talking about the word, or are we talking about what it is? And I brought up I actually wrote an example of one that I think is interesting.
Okay.
Because I wrote penis and vagina. In my opinion, I would say penis is Bouba and vagina is Kiki.
I think that's a tough one, though.
But if you put it another way, if you say dick and pussy, then, like, dick is Kiki.
That's true.
Because I think we're thinking of the word instead of the object.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you were to just say penis, vagina, penis, vagina, penis, vagina,
Penis, vagina.
what would you say? Which one's Kiki, which one's Bouba? Penis and vagina.
I would say vagina, based on the word, is giving a little more kiki for me. I don't know why.
See, that's what I'm saying. It's hard to separate the word from the object. Which is the Kiki and Bouba effect, is that words and objects
even thinking of a penis and a vagina, I still don't know exactly which one would be Kiki and which would be Bouba.
They're both kind of like soft things.
Yeah, they're both kind of Bouba, but they're also both kind of Kiki.
See, that's why I thought this one was interesting.
That's rough.
But here's the thing: dick and balls, Bouba.
Dick and balls is so Bouba.
If you're including the balls,
yeah,
it's Bouba. And
well,
then
what about which is Kiki and which one's Bouba? Dick and balls.
Dick is Kiki, balls are Bouba.
Yeah.
See, that's why it's hard when you like, cause
add the balls to it. It really boobifies it.
It boobifies it exactly. That's like, but I raise you one more: balls and boobs, cause they're both Bouba. But if you compare the two, which one's which? If you had to pick,
boobs are Bouba.
Really? Well, I mean, they're called Bouba.
But just looking at, like, visually.
But not all boobs are, like, rounded.
That's true.
There are some pointy
pointy
boobs. Yeah.
It's a tough one.
I know! That's what I thought, anyway, penis and vagina I thought was an interesting one. I think I would say penis, Bouba, vagina, Kiki.
Alright.
That's my final answer.
I think I maybe agree with you. I think.
Yeah. But I want people listening, I want you guys to, like, comment. For, like, each thing that we bring up, I want your answer.
Yes.
So for orange juice and apple juice, and for penis and vagina. And then we have a bunch of others that we're going to discuss too. But I want to hear other people's takes and, like, your reasons why. Because I'm curious. It's something I like talking about. So, all right, what's your next one?
Okay, so this one is actually a pretty similar thing. I think the words don't really match the objects themselves. Pancakes and waffles.
Waffles are Kiki, pancakes are Bouba.
See, I think based on the words, pancakes are Kiki,
but I'm not talking words.
Bouba.
I'm talking objects.
Exactly. But the objects, you're right.
Yeah.
Pancakes are Bouba and waffles are Kiki.
You're right, though.
Going off of the sound of the words.
Because pancake has...
the caca.
It's more Kiki.
Yeah.
And waffle.
But those are so opposite from what they are visually.
But yeah, because in reality, pancakes are just round and soft, and waffles got the edges.
Yeah.
They got the squares. And squares are Kiki, circles are Bouba. So
exactly.
Yeah.
You're so right.
I'm so right. Okay, my next one, Nick and Jess from New Girl. Personalities and visuals, not their names. Don't think about the names. We're not talking names.
I mean, Jess is just so Kiki.
I know. Okay, but I was wondering if you would agree.
Yeah.
Okay, because Nick is just like, he's just a blob.
I think Nick could be... Nick, honestly, maybe could go either way, but when it's against Jess, Jess has to be Kiki.
That's what I was saying, because if we did, like, Nick and... I'm trying to think of someone else from that show that could be, like more
Winston
Bouba.
could be either one. So I wouldn't know between Nick and Winston.
Okay, Nick and Cece.
Because Cece's pretty Booba.
Yeah, I think Cece's
Nick is
Bouba.
still a little more Booba, I think.
See, the thing is with Nick and Schmidt is so Kiki.
Schmidt is the epitome of Kiki.
Schmidt, his nose alone is Kiki. Is that anti-Semitic?
I'm so sorry. But just his personality, his visuals, every single thing about him is so Kiki. Like...
Schmidt?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just so Kiki.
I guess Nick is more Booba than I thought. Well, what about Schmidt and Jess?
Oh, it's a real Kiki off.
It's a Kiki off. It's a kai.
I think Schmidt beats her. I think Schmidt is more Kiki.
Yeah, because she also has, like, that bubbly personality.
Yeah,
that
so you could go Booba with that.
Boobalicious.
You know.
Anyway.
It's a good one.
Yeah, right. that was the first one I wrote, actually. I've been going kind of out of order.
Alright, I have not been going out of order. I think this one's interesting because these two things are so similar. They are basically the same thing.
Okay. What did you write?
Jam and jelly.
Oh, that is kind of a good one, though, because they're so, like, they're slightly different, and if you had to categorize them. Okay, for the dumbasses out there who don't know the difference between jam and jelly, jelly is made with the juices.
Yeah. And
jam is made with the fruit. And so jelly is more, well, for lack of a better word, gelatinous.
Yes.
And it has, like, more of a jiggly... I'd give jelly Bouba.
I was maybe going to go the other way, actually.
Because I think jam, it's got the chunks, it's got the seeds, it's got, like, stuff, you know?
And
then jelly is just, like...
round, chunky Bouba chunks, you know? That kind of gave more Booba for me.
All right, I could see that.
Yeah.
In my mind, Jelly's Booba, though. It's more jiggly.
I can see
it's
that.
more, I don't know. But that is a hard one, because they
Right?
are really similar things.
Since they are such similar things, but they're not.
In, just the grand scheme of things, if we don't have to pick sides, they're both Booba.
Yes.
But,
you're right.
if we have to pick a side, which one's more of the other, whatever, that is hard.
Unless they're being compared to peanut butter. Peanut butter is Booba.
Oh, that's true. Because,
and jam is...
Yeah.
Jam/jelly is Kiki.
Yeah, but also, in the grand scheme of things, all of those things are Booba.
That's true.
Yeah, because jam or jelly would be the Kiki, only if compared to peanut butter, because peanut butter has that more, rich, smooth thing.
Yeah.
And then jam and jellies have the more, tart thing.
Exactly.
Yes. See, this is why it's fun to talk about!
Because it's really random that we just fully agree on these things.
And, and that might just
for
be...
the most part,
that might just be us. That might just be, how our brains work.
Yeah, but...
But that's why I want to see other people's comments,
Yeah,
see if they agree with us. The jam and jelly thing is interesting, because... It totally depends on what you're comparing it to that determines if it's Kiki or Booba.
Yeah, it can change. Like how Jess can be Booba all of a sudden when you compare her to Schmidt.
Because Schmidt is just so Kiki.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is interesting.
Yeah.
Or the letter V, I think in my head I'm like, well, that's a Kiki thing. But if you compare it to the letter K, I'm like, well, the V is so
Well, yeah, because the sound of the V is very different from the look of the V.
Yeah, so it could go either way, even though on its own I'm like, well, it's Kiki. But then you compare it to something as sharp as a K, and it's immediately Booba.
Yeah.
Just changes. Anyway, okay, my next thing. I like that, though. Jam and jelly. That's, a hard thing.
Right?
Okay, this one's, not as interesting. I immediately forgot it when I turned off my phone. So it's really not that interesting. But I just kind of wonder where you lie, because I think I don't even have an opinion on this one. Books versus movies. I don't know.
Oh, that's tough.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't have an answer.
Let me stew for a sec.
For those audio listeners, Annie just climbed into a giant pot.
She's lying.
She's pouring chicken broth all over herself.
Okay.
You said let me stew.
Okay. That's really tough. I don't know.
Books and movies. I don't know. And it's not even, hard because they're both the same.
I just don't know what either one of them is.
I couldn't be like, well, they're both Kiki, or they're both Booba. I don't know.
But we have to come to a decision before we move on.
Can we come back to it? I didn't actually realize how hard it would be. I just wrote it because I saw a book sitting in the corner.
No, when we were coming up with these lists, we were sitting next to each other, just looking around the room, trying to think of things.
I know.
Hoping we'd see something that would
we
give us
should
an
have
idea.
probably prepared more in advance. But
we never do.
No, we never do. We just sat down. We're like, what should we talk about today? And so we're like, okay, let's come up with some lists really quick, and so we did. But yeah, damn, that's books, movies. I don't know. It could really go either way, because I see arguments for books being Booba, and I see arguments for movies being Kiki. But I feel like you could also put it the other way around. I think it depends on the book and the movie.
You're right.
Yeah. Because it's hard because, are we comparing... I think what's hard about it is when I think of a book, I think of, the physical object of a book. But when I think of a movie, I don't think about a physical DVD. Yeah. I think about things. So it's they're not things that can be compared. If we compare,
the feeling of reading versus the feeling of watching a movie? The feeling of reading, I think...
is more Booba?
I don't even know what I was about to say.
I'd say the feeling of reading a book is more Booba, because you're usually, I feel cuddled up in bed. It's sort of a relaxing thing. You can, in my mind, I'm like, oh, cuddling up and reading a book, and it's raining outside.
Watching a movie is more in your face. You're more...
And there are action scenes. Yeah. But then, if you're talking a physical object, a book versus, a DVD...
The book is still Booba, though.
You think so?
Over a DVD is...
I think so. I think my answer is...
I think book is Booba.
And movie is Kiki. But I could be easily swayed. If someone had...
If someone had a really good argument...
Yeah, if someone had an opposite opinion, but, could give me good reasons, I feel like I could change my mind easy.
Same.
Like, it's something that I kind of have an opinion on, but I'm not set in my ways.
Yeah.
Because it was hard for me to even decide.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, that one was harder than I realized. What's your next one?
Okay, this one is just stupid.
I have one that's really stupid too, so.
It's just what came to me and I couldn't think of anything else.
What if they're the same things?
They're not.
Okay.
I mean, they might be. They could be.
Well, the way you said that makes me think it's not, because this is something that... The thing I wrote is something that I could picture us both writing and being dumb about, so...
Probably not. Okay, anyways. So, this one is British people versus American people.
British people are Kiki. Look at that teeth.
Okay, but I'm not 100% sure. I think you're right. I do think... I don't know. The
British people are
words
Kiki.
British versus American...
We're not talking words. We talked about that.
But we can be talking words.
But I'm not.
Okay, fine. I think you're right. I think British people are more Kiki.
Fucking Kiki. With my tea and my crumpet. And my teeth that don't fucking look right.
That is a really solid argument.
I ain't got the straight teeth because I'm so fucking Kiki. Yeah, they're so Kiki. Because they're so annoying and in your face.
When they're being annoying, you know?
But we're not talking about that. We're comparing them to British people.
Yeah.
Compared to British people, Americans are more
I'm not saying I
Bouba.
disagree with you. I think it's maybe a little more nuanced than that.
I think it's very straightforward. Okay, fine.
I do agree with you, but I think it's a closer call than you're making.
The second you said Kiki, I pictured... the second you said British people, I pictured buck teeth. And those...
To our British listeners, fuck you! I was considering apologizing for being offensive, but actually get out of here. We don't want you.
Imagine a British person sitting watching this drinking apple juice. And they're just like, damn, I hate myself now. I'm just kidding. I love Dan and Phil. You know what I mean?
Select British people are okay.
Fuck the Queen.
Yeah.
Fuck J.K. Rowling.
You. What a turd.
What other British people are there? Paul Hollywood. Ugh.
He's annoying. I used to really
like Mary
him.
Berry?
Mary Berry.
Sweetheart.
And
Mary Berry is Bouba, Paul Hollywood is Kiki.
You're right. And what's the new chick? Prue?
Prue. Oh, yeah.
I like Prue.
She's a sweetie.
Paul is just like, he thinks he's all that.
He thinks he's
like, you're not really that great, dude. Like...
Oh, you know what I love? Gordon Ramsay.
You think getting a handshake from you is like a... Whoa!
I kid you not,
it's just a fucking hand.
You were about to say hand job.
I would rather not get a hand job from Paul Hollywood.
I would rather not give a hand job to Paul Hollywood. Ew.
Okay.
For all the Paul Hollywoods listening.
Why are you here?
Yeah,
get off.
Don't you have something better to do? Ew, you just wanted to get off?
Get out! I don't know why this is going off the rails. Okay,
Dude,
your
that
turn.
reminds me of when I was first dating Nathan. I got a text from him one day where he was like, just got off. And he didn't have a job at that point. The only time you can say I just got off when you're not talking about ejaculating is like if you just finished your shift at work. I just got off
What
work.
was he talking about?
Never asked. I have no idea to this day. But I'm
So
assuming
maybe
it was just
really
like...
is what he was saying.
I think it's just like an English mistake,
Probably.
you know? I highly doubt he was texting me to tell me he just jerked off.
Maybe.
No, he wasn't.
You never know.
I do know.
You didn't ask.
I know Nathan very well, and he would not do that. And I don't think he even knows that get off means that.
Alrighty.
So, like, I think what he meant is, like, he just, like, got home. Like, he just got off of hanging out.
Oh, maybe.
Because he knows people use that as, like, I just finished work. So maybe he's like, oh, it just means, like, you just got home from what you were doing. I think that's what he meant. But, like, I still think about it sometimes, and it makes me laugh that he was like, just got off. And I was like, what?
Interesting.
Yeah. Amy burped. Okay, wait. What's mine? You said British people. Okay, you said British people and Americans. I said gays and straights.
Oh, okay. Is that the one that you thought I
my
mentioned?
other one is stupider than that.
Oh my. Okay. Oh, that's rough.
Gays and straights.
I think straights are pretty kiki.
I mean,
but like,
kiki's like a whole...
But kiki is like a gay thing.
It's, yeah, so I think gays are kiki. They're more... They've got more...
So like kiki.
Yeah, they've got more pizzazz. They've got more...
Yeah.
In your face. But like, not like an in your face in a bad way. Like, they're just more like... They've got more personality. They've got more excitement to them. You know? They've got the color and the sparkles and the boom, pow.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, I think gays are kiki.
But straight people don't feel that Bouba to me. They're just less Kiki than
Bouba
gays.
can also be just, like, boring.
I guess.
To me, Bouba is more boring.
Bland.
Yeah. And so, like, I feel like straights are just, like, going through the motions, boobaing through life. And gays are Kiki.
Yeah, I
That's
can see
my
that.
opinion.
Are we going to Gay Pride, by the way?
Yeah, Trixie is coming to Utah.
I need to get work off.
Trixie and Katya.
Katya's coming too?
No, sorry.
Oh. I was
Trixie,
like, what?
No. Sorry, Trixie and Katya, Kiki Bouba.
You got my hopes up.
No, Katya's Kiki.
Yeah.
Trixie Bouba.
Trixie's Bouba, for sure.
See, sometimes it's so easy.
Yeah.
Like, it's just
Like,
obvious.
sometimes they're just very straightforward.
Yeah. Very gay forward. Because we're talking about Trixie and Katya. They're both gay. They're also both named Brian.
Cool.
Did you know they have a podcast? It's called The Bald and the Beautiful.
I love them so much.
Because they're both actually bald.
Slay.
They didn't used to be. But they are now.
Anyways. What were we
Gay Pride. Trixie's coming to Utah.
Yeah. And
I don't know when it is.
Who else is coming? Monet Exchange, right?
Yes. It was either Monet or... No, it's Monet, yeah. I think it's Monet Exchange.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways.
Anyway, what's
Next
your next
topic.
one?
Oh, it's my turn.
Annie just started dissociating. Anyways. Just staring at nothing. I was
Okay, fine.
girl, we're doing something. We're also 41 minutes in, so we should try to maybe...
Oh my,
Do you
okay.
I think you just have one more.
Yeah,
and
I
I
just
just
have
have one
one
more, right? I did write an extra one, actually.
This one's
so.
pretty boring, and I already know my answer.
Okay.
Apple Music and Spotify.
Apple Music is Kiki. Spotify is Bouba.
Really? Yeah. I'm backwards on that, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
I think, to me, it's the colors.
To me, the colors of Apple Music are giving more...
Really?
Bouba.
The hot pink isn't Kiki to you?
I don't know. It's
That,
just...
like, ugly green and black, that's giving more Bouba.
No, the green and black is giving Kiki. We, like, fundamentally disagree on this one
That's
already.
weird.
That has never happened,
Spotify,
actually.
also the sound of it, what are they?
Spotify.
No. The O? That's... I don't know. And also, I hate Spotify, so
I hate Spotify, too.
So that's why I would give it Bouba.
For all of our Spotify users, fuck you!
Imagine someone's listening to this on Spotify, drinking apple juice, and they're from England, and their name is Paul Hollywood. I'm so sorry. We sound like just horrible haters.
It's because we are.
I'm just very opinionated about things, but in reality, like, I don't care. My best friend uses Spotify.
Mia.
But the thing is, most people in my life actually use Apple Music. I used to think Spotify was way more popular, but I think I know more people that use Apple Music. People are just quieter about it. Spotify users are just like...
Actually, one of my
They
best
won't
friends
shut
uses
up.
Spotify. Serena uses Spotify.
See?
So.
They're out there, and we're gonna get them. But, like, I use Apple Music, you use Apple Music,
Yeah.
our brother uses Apple Music, one of my best friends uses Apple Music. My coworker friends from my last job, both of them use Apple Music. Actually, my other coworker friend from my job before that
Oh, lovely.
uses Apple Music. Like, most people I know actually use...
It's just better.
Yeah.
Spotify, every time I open that stupid app, it just confuses me.
I
Because I have
agree.
Spotify downloaded, actually. Like,
Because I think Spotify is laid out more like it wants to be a social media thing.
yeah.
Like, it's... I don't like... Apple Music is literally just folders of music on my phone.
Mm-hmm.
That is what it is,
it's
and
so
that's
easy and it's so
all that I
simple.
need. It is easy to... Like, if I want to try to be more social about it, they have, like, a separate tab that I never open.
Yeah, like,
But,
you
like-
can follow people. And
Yeah,
I have
but
a
it's
couple of
like,
people I'm
I
following.
just have folders of music saved to my phone. I got it separated by my artists and my albums and my songs, and I can make playlists, and it's just
so
simple.
simple.
Like, it doesn't
Yeah.
have too many things. Spotify has too many things.
The only reason I ever use Spotify is sometimes if an artist I like releases music, sometimes it'll show up on Spotify before it shows up on Apple Music.
That's weird.
So, just, I don't know, things just take a while
You know what I learned?
work.
Is this like a K-pop thing?
Yeah.
Because K-pop is always weird with the way it's released. What I have learned on Apple Music, if you go to an artist on Apple Music, this is a little life hack for people out there. If you have like an artist that you're excited about like releasing music and it doesn't show up on Apple Music right away, here's a hack.
You just have to search the title of it. That's what I do.
Well,
If you
aside,
search the specific title,
sometimes that doesn't
then it will
even
show
work.
up.
But because it'll, like, take a minute to show up. If you're searching the title of the new song or searching the artist and it doesn't, like, immediately pop up, because usually if an artist has new music, it's, like, the first thing there, right? But if it's not, like, popping up, sometimes it is on Apple Music. Sort it by their songs, and if you scroll all the way down to their songs, it sorts it by most popular to least popular, like, least listened to. All of the new ones will be right at the bottom, least listened to, because they're brand new. Like, if you're trying to find it the second it drops, just scroll down all the way in their songs. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
If you do that?
I've never done that.
If you go to their top songs, you scroll all the way to the bottom, usually they'll be there. They're just, like, sometimes it's
what
weird.
I usually do is just, if you can't find it on their profile, if you search the specific exact, like, title of the album or
Which,
title
like, good
of the
luck
song,
if it's TXT.
Yeah. Which it usually is TXT for me. They're usually
Yeah.
the only group that I care about listening to their music right when it drops.
They have the longest titles in the
They have
world.
a very long group name,
So just, like,
and
copy
very
and
long
paste it.
song titles and album titles, and it's very
Yeah,
annoying.
that's hard. But anyway, there's my little life hack. If you're trying to find, like, a song that just dropped on Apple
Alright,
Music,
sick.
just go to the bottom of the, like, top songs.
Smart.
It'll be the bottom songs, because just dropped 2 seconds
Because they
ago.
suck. Just kidding.
Well, they might suck. You have no idea.
That's true. Sometimes
You haven't listened to
sometimes
them
it's
yet.
Sticker by NCT.
No! To all those sticker listeners out there, fuck you!
That song is just so ass. I'm sorry.
I
It's
like to
just
listen to it.
bad.
It's camp. It's on my drinking playlist.
The first time we ever listened to it, we were together. You remember that? It dropped the same night as Lil Nas X's album.
Yeah. It did.
Yeah.
And we were like, something great, something not great. Anyway, my one that I was telling you is just, like, stupid is just Pee and Poo.
Oh, Pee and Poo.
Pee is Kiki, Poo is Booba.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah,
For
that's
sure.
why I wrote another one, because I was like, that one's too obvious, that one's too
Especially if
easy.
you're saying pee and poo, then it's
Pee-pee
like,
and poo-poo.
ooh, so Kiki and
But
so
what if
Booba.
you say piss and crap? Then how do you feel? Or, like, piss and shit.
Piss is still Kiki.
Yeah, I still agree.
Pee is Kiki in all forms.
Pee? What about urine? Urine sounds kind of Booba.
Urine and feces?
Urine and feces.
I can actually see them maybe being switched then.
Or if you say it like fecal matter. Excrement.
Excrement is so Kiki.
Okay, anyway, I thought that one was kind of dumb, so I wrote another one. Old Spaghetti
yeah, that's
Factory.
one.
I actually wrote it because we were talking about Old Spaghetti
okay.
Factory. Old Spaghetti Factory and Olive Garden. How do you feel? I think.
Olive Garden is Kiki.
Oh,
Do you disagree?
I do.
Oh.
But
Okay.
I'm not, like, that strongly opinionated on it. That,
Yeah, I
like,
mean, they're
care.
very similar. They're both just Italian restaurants. But
Yeah. Well, that's why it's kind of fun to compare really
Like
similar
jam and
things.
jelly.
Yeah, because it's like, but which one's a little more?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just Olive Garden. It's just Kiki to me. I don't
Spaghetti
know.
Factory. In my mind, I think I'm more likely to pick whatever thing I like more and put it as Kiki, because I like Kiki more than Booba.
Alrighty, interesting. I don't really have a strong opinion about which one is better, Kiki or Booba.
I
so.
prefer Kiki.
Alrighty.
Yeah, wait, yeah. Oh, that's kind of weird. You don't have, like, a preference? You don't like Kiki more than Booba or
Not
Booba
really.
more than Kiki? Oh,
They're just different.
I like Kiki more than Booba. Is that internalized fat phobia? Nah. I'm just gonna say it's not.
For our audio listeners, we just gasped and stared at each other for a
I
second.
think that was clear. I think they can get that. What else we did? We just gasped and then did the Macarena. For all of the audio listeners, Andy just started doing the Macarena. Hey, Macarena. Oh, what about the Macarena and the Hokey Pokey? Kiki or Booba?
Hokey Pokey is
I
so
sa-
Kiki.
It sounds
That's
so Kiki.
Kiki.
Yeah.
Macarena isn't like
Do
super
the Hokey
Booba, but
Pokey?
Hokey Pokey is a million times more
Yeah.
Kiki.
Okay, Schmidt or Hokey Pokey?
Schmidt is just the baseline for Kiki. If something
I
is
don't know. I feel like
somehow
Hokey
more
Pokey
Kiki,
might
that's like
be-
impressive for it to be more Kiki.
I feel
than
like a
Schmidt.
Hokey Pokey might be a little
Hokey
more
Pokey
Kiki than
is
Schmidt.
very, very Kiki.
Do the
But I
Hokey
still
Pokey
think
and
Schmidt
you turn
wins.
yourself around.
Schmidt is
That's
just so
what
like
it's all about.
Nick.
Okay, stop.
That's
Okay,
just so Kiki.
here's the thing. I think Hokey Pokey compared to Macarena, Hokey Pokey is just so obviously Kiki that, like, by default Macarena gets put into Booba.
But Macarena is pretty Kiki, honestly.
It could be like, let's say like Ring Around the Rosie and Macarena. Then Macarena's Kiki.
Yeah,
Because Ring Around the
Rosie
Rosie
is definitely more Booba.
is Booba. Yeah.
Also, Ring Around the Rosie is so morbid. Anyways,
Yeah.
moving on.
Morbidly obese.
Lauren.
Maybe I am fatphobic.
For all of our audio listeners, Lauren's fatphobic.
I'm not. And also, you don't have to be an audio listener
I know.
to, like, it's not like a visual thing. It's like, oh, you look at me and you're like,
I just wanted
Yeah,
to
she
make sure that
looks-
they know that you're fatphobic.
I'm
Also,
not.
all of our listeners are audio listeners.
that's the joke, you dumbass. That's the joke.
I know.
Alright, well, that was it. I don't have any other categories.
Yeah, I think.
And it has been
that's
50 minutes now, and I think
pretty
it's
much
good
it.
to, like, call it quits.
You want to do
Call
our
it quits.
song recommendations
We're
for the
done.
week? Did you think of
Oh
one?
yeah, the Macarena. No, I didn't think about song recommendations.
Let me-
I kind of
let me
forgot.
Actually, there is a song I've been listening to, like, non-stop called Macarena by Blitzers.
Wait, are you for real?
I am 100% for real.
Okay, well that has to be your thing then.
I don't know if that's necessarily my
Yay,
suggestion. It's a great
Macarena.
song, but
All right, my song
a
recommendation.
lot of songs have come out since we last did this, so
Mine's not a new song by any means. My
Okay.
song came out in 2011.
okay.
But I have a story behind this song. So, when I was younger, I really, really liked Me and Earl and the Dying Girl. I still do. One of my favorite movies, one of my favorite books. I love it. One of my favorite soundtracks. I love everything about it.
Great movie.
And I used to listen to the soundtrack a lot. And there was this song that it's not on the soundtrack, but every time I listen to it, I'm like, it just sounds like it should be. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but every time I hear it, I'm like, this feels like Me and Earl and the Dying Girl. So when I was younger, like in high school and stuff, I used to listen to this song a lot because I just really liked the soundtrack from that movie. But this song, well, okay, I guess flash forward a little bit. I got a new phone. I lost all of my playlists and all of my songs. For some reason, they like didn't transfer over. I think I did it wrong.
Yikes.
So I lost a lot of photos and stuff too. Like I just didn't do the transfer correctly when I got a new phone. I think I hadn't saved. I hadn't saved enough stuff to my iCloud. I had saved it to my actual device for some reason, and so I lost a lot of stuff. And so this song that I listened to a lot, I lost. And years down the line, my music taste had changed a lot, and I didn't really listen to any of that old music anyway, so I didn't really care that much that I had lost it. But I started making a like nostalgia playlist of like songs I listened to in high school, and I've put as many things as I could remember on there. And on Apple Music, I can go back and listen to like my most listened to songs of that year, so that helped me find a lot of them. But there's this one song that I could never find, the one that sounded like Me and Earl and the Dying Girl. And the reason I could never find it is because it's by a not very well-known artist. I don't know anyone that has ever listened to this artist. I've never really heard of them. I don't know anything about them. And the name of the song is Song. Like, the title is Song. S-O-N-G, Song. So, it has been impossible for me to find.
S-O-N-G song.
And this week, I remembered it again, and I was, like, determined to find it. And I just, like, couldn't. I was, like, searching and searching, and there's just, like, no way to find it unless you know the title. It's also an instrumental song, so I can't search lyrics.
Dang.
But out of nowhere, the other day, I was sitting in the parking lot waiting for Nathan to come out of class. In my head, I was just like, Kid Street. It's by Kid Street. I just remembered one word, Kid Street, and the name is Song. And I really like it. It just makes me happy. If you like the movie Me and Earl and the Dying Girl, you'll probably like it. You'll be
I
like,
need to
oh,
watch that movie again. I haven't seen it in
a
very,
while.
very long time.
I want to watch it with Nathan. He's never seen it. But anyway, that's my song recommendation because it made me really happy this week that I found it. So
Nice.
There, that's it.
Happy for you.
You
Okay,
should
my recommendation is I Don't Understand But I Love You by 17.
That's not what you said you were gonna.
Well, I changed my mind.
Okay,
I was just
fine.
saying I have actually been listening to a song called Macarena, which is weird. I do love that song too. But I love 17. They just came out with a new album, and I think that's the best song on the album. It's really
Also, the story
beautiful.
behind the title's cute.
That's true. On one of their live streams, a fan commented, "I don't understand, but I love you," because of the language difference.
This fan obviously doesn't
A
speak
lot of people
Korean.
like to just like watch their lives even though they don't understand what they're actually
Yeah,
saying.
they're like, I
and,
enjoy watching you, but I don't get what
personally
you're
have done
saying.
that.
Yeah.
But that's what they commented. They said, "I don't understand, but I love you." And I think it was Hoshi that read the comment.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Whoa, that's a really like pretty sentence. We
Like,
should
that's
use
kinda
that in a
deep.
song." That's like
And I'm
so
like, I guess
deep.
it is kind of cute, like, when you think about
Yeah,
it.
it
It's
is
like,
kinda
to
beautiful,
care about someone
you know?
enough that's like, the language barrier doesn't matter to me.
Yeah,
I
I just
just
like watching you. I just like seeing you happy.
I like
and
seeing you happy. I like watching
talking to
your,
your friends.
energy. And,
Yeah.
like, I just love you, even though I don't get
so
it.
then they wrote a song with that title. And
I don't understand, but I
says
love
that
you.
line over and over again.
Imagine being that fan.
That would be crazy. And I think it's a performance unit song. So
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, those are our song recommendations.
Yep, we have very good taste. Listen to them, please.
Yeah, and the song that I recommended, it's very repetitive. It's kind of the same thing over and over again, but it's pretty, and it's like 4 minutes long, so you don't have to listen to the whole thing. But if you listen to it a little bit, it'll make me happy. And it'll probably make Kid Street happy, because I don't know anyone that listens to them. I could check on Spotify. I guess that's one thing Spotify has going for it. You can check like monthly listeners, which is kind of cool, but I don't.
And it does sometimes bother me that I'm not contributing to those stats for the groups that I really
well,
like.
Apple Music has stats. You just can't look at them.
Yeah.
And honestly,
I wish I was contributing to the Spotify stats.
Yeah.
Of course, it would just be plus one monthly listener still, but...
Yeah, there used to be one thing that did bother me that was, like not having, like, the Spotify Wrapped. But Apple Music...
Yeah, Apple Music does that
quickly
now,
got around to it. They realized, like, that's something their listeners wanted,
Yeah.
and so now, like, we have that.
It's just so much easier to use, and I love it. Anyways.
I love Apple Music. Shout out to Apple Music for sponsoring this episode. Can you imagine?
Shout out to Orange Juice for sponsoring this episode.
Shout out to American people for sponsoring this episode. What else did we say we hated?
Paul Hollywood.
Shout out to Mary Berry for sponsoring this episode. All right, well, that's it. This has been long. It's like 56 minutes now, so let's get out of here. Thank you for listening. If you did, if you didn't, then you're not here. Yeah. We love you guys, maybe, unless you're British or you like apple juice.
There are a lot of things about you that we could actually hate about you, so don't be too careful.
Don't be too careful. We're not promising any... I don't know what you mean by that, but...
Don't be too...
Sure?
What was I trying to say?
Don't be too sure.
Don't be too sure. That's what I was trying to say.
Don't be too sure that we love you, because there are a lot of reasons why we might not.
We're very hateful people. And it sounds like I'm joking, but I'm not.
Yeah, okay. Anyway, goodbye.